People say life can change in a moment, but nobody expected that moment to happen on a dusty roadside, with a millionaire pacing beside his broken Mustang and a little black girl quietly watching him struggle. The sun hit the hood just right, steam rose like smoke from a dragon, and the men cursed under his breath. Everyone driving by probably assumed he'd call a tow truck. Everyone, except the little girl who walked toward him holding a small box of tools. But what shocked him wasn't her confidence. It was the tiny ring shining on her finger, a ring far too elegant and expensive for any child to be wearing. And from that moment, he knew there was a story hidden behind her calm eyes, a story he wasn't ready for. The man wiped sweat from his forehead, frustrated and embarrassed. A billionaire, a name on magazines, owner of half a dozen automotive factories, stuck on the side of the road with his own classic Mustang refusing to start. He glanced at the little girl, no older than 9, her hair tied neatly, her clothes worn but clean. She stepped closer and said softly, "Sir, I think I can help." He blinked, shocked. "You help with this," he said, tapping the hood like he was knocking on a coffin, but she didn't flinch. She just smiled, reached up, and asked him to open the hood. Something about the way she stood, the determination in her tiny shoulders, made him step aside without protest. She climbed onto the front bumper to see inside, her ring glinting in the sun. He couldn't stop staring at it. It wasn't plastic. It wasn't a toy. It looked like something rare, something valuable, something that absolutely did not belong on the finger of a child alone on a roadside. She reached into her little toolbox, pulled out a small wrench, and tapped a loose connection like she'd done it 100 times. The billionaire's eyebrows shot up. "Where did you learn this?" he asked, trying not to sound impressed. She shrugged. "My dad taught me." Before, she paused. Her voice softened. "Before he left." He swallowed, the weight of her words hitting him unexpectedly. She tightened the bolt, checked the hoses, then asked him to turn the key. He did, and the engine roared back to life as if it had been waiting for her touch. The men jumped back, laughing in disbelief. "How did you?" That connection wasn't even visible, but she just wiped her hands and gave a humble little smile. People like him weren't used to being humbled, especially not by kids. He reached for his wallet, ready to hand her $100 bill, but she gently pushed his hand back. "No thank you, sir," she said. "You needed help." "I helped." That's when he finally asked, "And your ring? Where did you get something like that?" Her eyes lowered. "It was a gift," she whispered. "From the only person who ever believed in me." Before he could ask more, a bus screeched to a stop across the street. A woman waved frantically at the girl. "Come on, Maya. We're late." The girl grabbed her toolbox, nodded politely, and ran off. She didn't explain the ring. She didn't explain anything. She just left him standing there with a working car, and a feeling he hadn't felt in years, curiosity mixed with guilt. He watched her board the bus, still thinking about the ring. Because he recognized it. He'd seen one just like it years ago, at a charity gala where a man donated a rare custom-designed ring in memory of his late wife. A ring said to represent hope, brilliance, and legacy. A ring worth more than most houses, and now, that same ring was on the finger of a little girl fixing engines on the roadside. The billionaire tightened his jaw. Something wasn't right. Something didn't add up. And no matter how hard he tried to return to his day, to his meetings, to his world of money and power, his mind kept circling back to that tiny mechanic with the mysterious ring, and the story she refused to tell. He couldn't sleep. That night, the billionaire lay awake replaying her words, her confidence, the way she touched the engine like it was second nature. More than anything, that ring. He remembered the men who donated it, the story behind it, the tragedy of a family torn apart by illness and debt. So how did a young girl, alone, carrying tools, dressed modestly, end up with something so priceless? The next morning, he returned to the roadside where the Mustang had broken down. Not because he expected to find her, but because he needed answers. And surprisingly, she was there. Kneeling beside an old man's truck, tightening bolts with calm precision. The billionaire approached slowly. When she looked up, she smiled shyly. "You again," she said. He crouched beside her. "Maya, I want to know more about you. About your dad. About that ring." She hesitated. A long silence hung between them. Then she finally spoke. My dad used to fix cars with me every weekend. He said cars were like people. If you listen carefully, they tell you where they hurt. She laughed softly. He was smart. Really smart. Her smile faded. But people took advantage of him. He trusted the wrong business partner. They stole everything. We lost our house. He got sick. And he gave me this ring before he passed away. He said it would protect me. That it meant I would always have something beautiful even when life felt ugly. The billionaire's heart tightened. The story matched too closely. The donated ring. The men with the sick wife. The family tragedy. It all connected. Maya's father was the man from the charity gala, a genius engineer who disappeared from the business world after losing everything. The billionaire exhaled deeply. Maya, your father didn't just fix cars. He was brilliant. People respected him. Including me. She blinked in confusion. You knew him. I met him once, he said softly. And I failed to help him when he needed it. I didn't know. I didn't try hard enough. Tears welled in Maya's eyes, but she quickly wiped them away. It's okay. I'm okay. But he wasn't. He stood up, determination burning in his chest. Maya, you shouldn't have to carry this burden alone. You're talented. Gifted. And your father wanted you to have a future. She looked up at him. A future? Fixing cars by the road. He shook his head. No. A future building things the world has never seen. A helicopter echoed in the distance. Maya shielded her eyes as it descended, slowly, powerfully, right in front of them. People gathered, shocked. The billionaire turned to her with a gentle smile. Come with me, Maya. Let me honor your father by giving you the opportunity he never received. Her voice trembled. Why me? Because, he said, placing a hand on her shoulder, you remind me of him. His brilliance. His heart. And the world needs someone like you. She looked at the ring, then at the helicopter, then back at him. Will I still get to fix cars sometimes? She whispered. He laughed. Kid, you'll be designing them. And with that, the little girl who once fixed engines on the roadside stepped toward a future brighter than anything she ever imagined, carrying her father's ring, his legacy, and a destiny no one could have foreseen.